G'day guys, just a quick heads up, the following video is nausea inducing. It's not going to be that fun to watch. I'm basically just committed to doing this because I think it's hilarious, but feel free to put on something else to watch or browse the internet and just listen to this in the background. It'll be a lot more pleasant. Or watch if you're hardcore. Either way, this is my 600 sub AMA. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Spawn Point or Bust. We are out here at the far lands. As you can see, my X coordinate is huge. And for my 600 sub AMA, we're going to walk back to spawn. Let's just get Wolfie. Come Wolfie. And let's get on our way. The game sounds actually really loud, so let me just turn them right down. Yeah, this is something I've sort of been wanting to do for a while. It'll be interesting to see how things go. But yes, feel free to stick with me as we navigate the terrain out at the far lands. As you can see, it's kind of... Watch this. It's very crazy. Anyway, we'll see how long our little Wolfie friend lasts and answer a few questions along the way. And like I said, feel free to not watch this because it can be somewhat sickening to behold. Interesting to note that the game is still fairly playable, but I did, in my testing, realize that you have to get as far away from the Farlands area as you can, because otherwise the game will crash due to all the crazy broken entities and stuff like that. So anyway, as I said on the subreddit, AMA, and you most certainly did, so we will go through the questions. Possibly might need to do a couple episodes because certainly lots of questions were asked of me. But I like that. That makes me happy. So thank you very much, everyone. So what I'm going to do is just basically go through from the very top of the questions on the Reddit post. Yeah, so we'll get into it. So the first post is by Yay Tomato, and he said, "How do you feel about this person called you Bertgasms?" And then there's a link to a video on Ant Venom's channel, which actually has Brian, Dr. Logan 111's bingo map, where he's talking about the people who helped test that. Because I helped Brian out with the alpha testing of that. Oh, look at this cow. It's walking backwards or sideways. You can still kill them alright. Let's get some pigs. Pigs for Wolfie. Oh wow, when you go sideways, it's actually kind of almost normal. Kind of almost. Yes, so Ant Venom, of course, looked at my name and said, "Hey, it's Bertgasms." Yes, this is not the first time that has happened. I don't know what it is about my name. It seems pretty obvious to me that it's Bergasms. Anyway, the first competition I submitted for one of Jay Sano's competitions, he called me Beergasms. I'm not sure whether maybe that's just him projecting his want for a beer or something like that, but yeah, I don't know what it is with people in my name. It seems to happen every so often, so thanks for that question, Tomato. I feel fine about it, by the way. I'm not at all fussed. Quite alright. He also asked, what game mode used to be played back in ye olde days that you want most to be revived, and who would you like to see host it? Back in the olde days, we didn't really have that many different game types. There wasn't really anyone developing plugins. Script wasn't even a thing. So, I mean, one of the first big plugin-based game modes was the mole one, actually. And before that, I wrote a couple other ones. I had the virus, where everyone starts getting sick after a certain amount of time, and there's only one cure on the map, which you have to be holding to not take damage. That was fun. But what I would like to see again, kind of fell out of fashion, is, I mean, it's kind of crazy as well. It's not really a good thing, but I wouldn't mind seeing people do, oh man, I love the terrain generation, sudden death. Now, sudden death, for those of you who haven't been part of it, it used to be every game would go for 90 minutes, and then there was the sudden death meetup, and that was everyone would be teleported into a 50 by 50, basically glass-walled cube, and you had to just fight to the death, and that's what it was. It could be really bad. It was fun because you knew that everyone was in that area. So that kind of, that obviously made it a lot better. You would never get surprised. There would be like 30 seconds after teleport where everyone could run and, well, out of my way, Wolfie. Oh yeah, mobs are solid now. Craziness. Yeah, you had to sort of run and pick a spot, build yourself a little tower in a tree, and then everyone would fight after 30 seconds or something. And it was kind of fun. You knew that the game would always end at a certain time, and it was also kind of entertaining where, let's say you'd been mining for a while and you thought you're doing alright, you had enchanted iron with like a diamond helmet and, enchanted bow, and it's really awesome, and then you get teleported to sudden death and there are like 4 people in full diamond and you're like, ah, dang. So yeah, not so much a game mode, but a game ender. I wouldn't mind seeing people do sudden death again. I know Laquisha still has the scripts to do it, so yeah, maybe we'll bring that back at some point. This is gonna make me sick. I'm already sick, it sucks, but this stop motion stuff, it's crazy. Still, we are dedicated. Where's the sun? There. It's going that way. Oh, maybe I should have gone in the Z direction. Oh well. Never mind. Guess we won't be running into any Kurt J. Max on this particular journey. So thank you for that. Alright, here's another question. How did you get the name Burgasms? And Yay Tomato said, don't expect an answer, he will never say. Yeah, pretty much. In order to give you the backstory as to why I got the name Burgasms, you would have to get a lot more backstory about me than I am willing to share. So, suffice to say, it comes from my nickname. Ooh, zombies. It comes from my nickname, which is just Burger, B-E-R-G-A. And Burger was taken when I went for my Xbox Live account way back when. Does anyone still play Xbox Live? I don't know. So I picked Burgasms. And then like 2 years later on How I Met Your Mother, they have that episode with the really awesome burger store, and Lily's like, I think I just had my first burgasm, and everyone's like, oh, that's where you got it from. But no, completely independent, completely unrelated, so definitely not. So yeah, thanks for that question. Oh, and I just hear my little daughter crying, so we will do a quick pause and I'll see you in a sec. And we're back. Hey Wolfie. And we'll continue. This is kind of interesting. So the next question, I think I answered the previous one correctly, is by Otts, and that is, what is the most awkward situation of your childhood? And then I either said awkward, embarrassing to me, or awkward, like, how do I tell my friend he has toilet paper hanging out the back of his pants? You noodle. I'm gonna have to kill some more pigs. And he clarified awkward, embarrassing to me. And Terry wants me to answer both. Yeah, okay. I can think of a good enough story to tell you guys. So one of my friends, well, most of my friends actually lived on farms. I grew up in the country, and one of them had a big swamp out the back of his farm, about 2 kilometers from the house. You nitwit, you're about to die. Damn. Good luck, Kurt. Hey, stop that. Damn. We need to find some piggoos. Anyway, so he has a swamp a long way out from his house, and he has a lot of motorbikes on his farm. Anyway, the swamp has lots of little, like, lumpy... My god, the music. Dun, 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 dun. It's nice music though. Oh, and it's nearly night time, which means we need to make ourselves a bed. I'm not 100% sure how to do this properly. And doesn't he normally place? Yeah. That. Oh god. How am I going to do this? Apparently I can't sidestep off a ledge this far out. That's interesting. Ah, the old braking noises and stuff. Sweet. Okay. And awakeness. I think I'm doing this right. Wait, have I got it on peaceful or something? Oh no, it's not normal. It's ultra hardcore, man, because you don't get any health back. Oh, I don't even know if I want to try boats. That would be suicidal. Let's walk around this lake via that desert. Much safer. Anyway, so we're out on this swamp and we were riding motorbikes around, and I was on the back of a motorbike that my friend Will was driving or riding. We were going over these tussocks, basically like little lumps in the swamp, which, oh, you are so gonna die, which you can do jumps off of. And that was all fun and dandy, except, yeah, I know you're hurt, except there was one tussock that didn't really have so much a ramp up to it as like a solid edge, and we hit that going quite fast, and I kind of supermaned off the back of the motorbike, went quite high in the air, and I think this might be goodbye to our wolfie friend, because I don't think he will survive this sort of area. Anyway, I supermaned off the back. Luckily I was wearing a helmet. I've still got the helmet. It's still got massive gouges in the head from the damage it took because I landed on my head. And then I skidded along on my bum, and I think we may need to restart this world real quick. Let me just see if this works. Much better. Anyway, yes, so skidded along on my head, yeah, came up, then flipped over and skidded along on my bum. Now the swamp is mostly made of gravel, and I was just wearing track pants. So as you can guess, the gravel sandpapered away my track pants, and then proceeded to sandpaper away a significant portion of the skin off my butt cheeks, which, to say the least, was quite painful. Anyway, this all resolved itself, and I'm sitting there bleeding out the butt cheeks, and my friends are like, wow, you look quite injured, we should probably take you back to the farm to get patched up. And we had a ute, like an old crappy farm ute like you have out there, like, you know, a tray back vehicle. Anyway, so they were going to take me back, and of course the ute breaks down. So I ended up having to walk 2 kilometers with bleeding butt cheeks back to, oh, god damn it. Well, I think we're gonna have to boat from here back to the homestead area, and then I had to suffer through my friend's mum patching up my butt cheeks with gauze. So that pretty much rates as one of the most embarrassing moments of my childhood. As for embarrassing for other people, oh wow, boats. Is it even moving? Oh, yeah, it is moving, because you can see the cactus getting closer. I think this is where the wolf shall die. The wolf shall die. I didn't really pick the best way to go. Obviously I have much to learn. Hopefully he spawns on this little area here. Yes? Nope. Oh, this may be it. Oh, there he is. Hello, Wolfie. We need to get you some pigs. So yeah, I think that pretty much answers that question. So thanks for that one, Ots. The next one is by T-Man 1829765, and he says, what was your first UHC like? Well, T-Man, my first UHC environment that I played in was actually on a thing known as Jackal's Den, and that was kind of like you join the world and there are just people walking around and you got to armor up and fight and kill them, and that was quite good fun. A lot of the people from this community, oh good job, a lot of the people from this community who have been here for a long time initially played on Jackal's Den, people like Sep and Odyssey, back before it was even Dragon's Den, which was run by Dell. But my first Reddit UHC, well, I also played a different one that I got from like an IRC channel, or maybe it was Minecraft.net forums thing. Oh, good work. There we are. Healing up. Oh, get him. You get him, boy. Did I eat that? Come back here. You're not nearly strong enough to do this on your own. Oh, yes, he is. Back up. Full health, Wolfie. Yeah, so sorry, I played, my first one on the Reddit was Itiamo's number 6. And if you really want to see what it is like, you can go and watch it on my channel. It's one of the first videos. It's probably about the 8th or 9th video I uploaded. It was quite a good fun game. Very nervous, that game. You can tell it was very early on UHC because people were still growing crops and getting bread and stuff like that for food. Yeah. It's probably an interesting historical look about how newbie we all were back in the day. So maybe you should check that out. But I guess to say how well I did in it, I ended up winning. So that was pretty cool. Started off on a high. And it's all been pretty since then. So there you go. Next up is Posh and Pie, who asks, who is your favourite Australian member of the community and why is it Posh? Ooh, I see you're trying to lead me to the answer there, Posh. No, I like all of the Aussie members of this community. They're all pretty cool. Oh, look at this, if you go sideways, apart from the world kind of glitching through you, it's actually pretty normal. It's like, yep, I could just be back at spawn. Even the hitbox is aligned correctly. So that's interesting. So the more Kurt walks to the north, the worse it's going to get, because his hitbox is going to be offset laterally as well. You twit. This is going to be somewhat difficult. So where were we there? Oh yeah, Aussie UHCs. The Aussies are generally a good bunch, and the Kiwis. So I've obviously been playing a lot more games with them lately, just due to time zones and things such as that, which is just how the things go. So yeah, none of them are my favourite. They're all cool. Alright, so next up is, oh, there's no chat obviously in this version of the game, is Wingnut45, who has a few questions. He has one that's also answered a few times, or sorry, asked a few times, and that is, has programming anything ever been fun for you? Because my job, if you don't know, is I'm a computer programmer. Ploosh. Go. Good work. I'm a computer programmer by trade, and so I program other things because that's just how I roll. Well, that pig just took damage. I might go and pay them a visit, I think. Yeah. So a computer programmer, has anything ever been fun? Yes. Lots of times. Oh god, I'm saying like you wouldn't believe. Alright, avoid this. Bad. Oh, that's a big cactus. It's like a 4-high cactus. Didn't know they happened. Yes, programming lots of things is fun. Programming Minecraft plugins is fun. If programming clicks for you, you gain an indescribable amount of satisfaction from watching people enjoy your work. And yeah, there is something like, I can tell you, I know, okay, it's maybe not the prettiest plugin and there's definitely shortcomings in it, but things like the mole plugin, like, man, it's so gratifying to see so many people get so much enjoyment from that plugin. So yes, of course, probably years and years ago when I wasn't a very good programmer, I took on a rather ambitious project. I wanted to make like a, you know, those like Sim City, Sim Town, Sim Tower. I wanted to make like Sim ski resort. So, you know, I wanted like it generates like a random mountainous terrain, and then you start off with crappy little single-seater lifts, and people come and visit your thing, and you got to make money and rah, rah, rah. And I started working on that and just had so much fun learning how to make artificial terrains that were that made sense. Like, so you look at this Minecraft world, right, and it might look somewhat like a real world, but it's full of inconsistencies that in the real world just don't happen. Like in the real world, you don't just get little depressions and rises and stuff like that. Like everything's carved out by water and wind, and it all follows valleys and ridges and stuff. And to the casual observer, it becomes very obvious when that's not working properly, and when that's, you know, sort of breaks down. So that was, yeah, one of my first projects, and I'm still trying to find the source code for that. It's on a floppy disk somewhere, if you'd believe that. Oh, now wait, it's the second night, so we've got to do the whole... Where you at, bozo? Sit. So yes, lots of programming is fun to me. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't still fun. Close that up. I have no idea about the dimensions of this place, so I'm just going to make a little 3x3 cube. It's actually really hard to mine that because all the hitboxes are completely offset. Oh, and waking up with a headache-ness. Ooh. Oh, hurrah. Let's grab our little friend and continue on to the spawn world. To 0, 0. So yeah, programming, massive fun. I really enjoy it. I'm actually working on something currently, which is... Oh, I hear skeletons. I'm working on a little something currently. Bit of a game. I was working on one a while ago that I stopped working on because I got bored of it. But now I've been working on a new one. I've been working on it for quite a while now. Oh, you're gonna die. You are silly. How come he gets out of it right before he dies every time? It's kind of weird, isn't it? I think I pushed him further into the block then. Good work, guy. Oh, I know. You're a liability. Okay, I think I've gone on about that question ad nauseum. So Wingnutt also says, is there anything that you didn't or did do in WMC that you now regret? Ooh. Didn't or did do in WMC. I probably should have thought about this one a lot more. There's probably a lot of things I could think of if I really pondered this one. I think I probably regret in Season 4 hitting myself with a poison pot while trying to chuck it at Schick. If you go back and actually look at that fight, it was a completely stupid thing to do, not least because I hit the sugar cane, and that really... Oh, bye-bye. Oh no, he's still alive. For the minute. Yeah, not least was that stupid from that point of view. It was stupid because he was already like in the water being attacked by dogs that had strength and speed, and didn't really need a poison pot. Secondly, if I hit him with the poison pot, it would have hit all my dogs, which is just stupid. Bye-bye. You are silly. So, yeah, I kind of regret doing that. That was a poor choice of tactics. And then, who knows how that game might have progressed if I hadn't done that. I would have been on over half my health when Dibs attacked, so I wouldn't have died to one hit. Would have still had a poison pot, still had speed, you know, all sorts of stuff. Heroin wouldn't have got attacked by my dogs. Yeah, so that's something I probably would have done differently if I could. And what was that one? Is there something I did do that I now regret? Oh no, didn't do. Not really. I regret I didn't do better in Kings. The end I kind of just ran around, but everyone was chasing me, so not much you can do about that. I really need a pig. Bye bye Wolfie, you're not going to survive this particular bit. Oh, yes you did. Good pathfinding, Squire. Oof, this stop motion stuff's kind of hurting the brain, isn't it? Am I in WMC? I think you know the answer to that, Wingnut. How many recorded rounds do you think you would have to be in before the mount is too much for you? Well, I mean, I like recording videos and uploading them and doing stuff with all sorts of different people, so that's not the issue. The issue with recorded rounds for me is the time. Obviously, having a family now, it's a lot harder to find time to just do gaming and stuff like that, but you know, whatever, I'll just pick a number. 5, there you go. If I was in 5, that'd be too many. Die, scumbag. Oh, pink sheep, you are so magical. Hey. So yeah, I think that answers that question. What inspired me to do YouTube stuff? What did inspire me? Oh, well, I watched Farlands or Bust, obviously, before I did YouTube. I've been watching that for a very long time now. Since back in the... I think Kurt was up in the episode 30-something, maybe? Back when I first started watching, it was quite a while ago. My flatmate actually was like, hey, this guy's walking to the Farland, check him out. So I did. I actually have a world, I've still got it somewhere, called World Walker, where every time Kurt played FLOB, I would just walk through a Minecraft world as well at the same time. I wanted to see if I could like catch up to him and, you know, go along at the same pace and stuff like that. But then obviously, of course, I didn't keep going with it. And I should try and find that world. I think it was like a gig in size. It was pretty cool. I died in like a spider spawner in that. It was really funny. Anyway, tangent people. And that got me into videos. I used to play on this server called the Minecraft Mad World, where there was no global chat and things of that nature. You had to build like a radio tower if you wanted to chat over large different distances. And one of the guys on that's like, you should totally, yeah man, you should totally record stuff. And I was like, okay. And he actually said, oh, you should open every video with, "G'day mate," because Australia. And ever since then, I have opened with, I think I just ate that. I've opened with, "G'day everybody," because that's the way I roll. So there you go, that's the origin of that. What is your most and least favourite seasons of WMC? Most favourite, season 2, obviously winning, and it was just so full of crazy, silly, ridiculous stuff that how could you not like it? Killing the mole team and getting the Thorns armor and killing Climb with Thorns, having Fairy kill that spider with like the bit of dropping lava, Kiwi coming through into the nether when I'm like, don't come through, and he came through and fell into the lava. Just so much fun. Least favourite season? Ooh, I don't know. Season 3 I wasn't too happy with myself. Only got 1 kill on Munch and then got killed by Dibs. But that season in itself was brilliant because it had the awesome trapping and it was a good season, but for me it wasn't very good, so I would say not that season. That's probably my least favourite. Oh, and I also liked... Oh, hello, look what we have here. Where you at, young squire? Silly. It's a spawner. What type is it? I want to hit that thing. There we go. Don't spawn. Don't do it. Sweet. Alright, let's see what we get. Bucket. Oh, they don't stack anymore. Of course. Well, we can drop off some of the crap that we have. Oh. Good work, sand. You are suffering somewhat from the mathematics of this place, aren't you? A piece of bread, more gunpowder, more string, more iron, and a saddle for fun and profit. Yes, I'm going to leave my pink wool here. Oh, it's the old gravel texture too. How cool is that? Come here, you noodle. So I think I answered that question. Oh, and Wingnut finishes with, do you think there would ever be a time when WMC will end? And do you think it would be sooner or later? Well, currently we've got so many people who are keen to play it that it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. I mean, really, as long as Minecraft doesn't become untenably bad, probably it will just keep going for a while. I mean, there are a lot of people who the only real competitive UHCs they still play a lot of are the WMCs. So from that point of view, yeah, I mean, I guess it will just keep going because it's kind of a fun, pretty much everyone in that group gets along really well. Like, you know, we're all happy to catch up. There's no real beef. We all hate on dibs. Like, it's all pretty good. So, you know, there's no reason why it wouldn't just keep cracking on, I guess. Hey, guy. Plonk, plonk, plonk. We can make some bulk TNT here. Because why not? Boom, stick. Alright, stop pushing me around, guy. I've got a very important thing to do here. Yeah. Oh, it's totally nighttime. And we'll finish that question in the morning. And an AMAnus. This is fun. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, WMC. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, we all really enjoy playing that, or at least I do. So, not for the foreseeable future, I guess. People leave, people join, it happens, but as a whole, it will keep rolling on. For example, in the organisation, originally Climb organised it, then I organised it, now Fairy organises it, so it just keeps going. So thanks for all those questions, Wingnut. I reckon I got a couple more I can answer in this particular episode, and then we might have to call it wraps and go on to the next one. So Zaki says, what are your opinions on communism? Well, it's an interesting one. Communism in theory, obviously, if you don't know, is that everyone puts in work and then everyone reaps the benefits of that work. So, you know, you have all the workers putting in their stuff and then everyone gets to take their own slice of the pie. There is no class-based system because, whoa, don't fall off there, sir. There's no classes or anything, everyone's equal. But of course, the problem with real-life communism is everyone is equal, some people are just a bit more equal than others. So it's one of those things where it's a nice idea, but it doesn't really play out in the real world. This is for many reasons. But the biggest underlying problem with communism is the assumption that everyone puts in an equal share, and then everyone can take an equal share out. As we know, the real world is full of people who are hard workers, full of people who are lazy workers, so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really work because, yeah, not everyone's putting in the same amount. And the capitalist system actually, although it's also broken in many facets, tends to work better than communism because it actively punishes lazy people by, you know, they're out of a job, and rewards hard-working people. then of course you have the added problem with capitalism is that we then create welfare for people who are can you stop pushing me, please? Thank you. We then create welfare systems to help people who are unable to work for legitimate reasons, and they tend to get abused by the lazy out of work people who don't have a job because they're lazy bums and expect to be handed everything, and that then makes things complicated. But you know, so that's my thoughts on good old communism. It's a nice idea, but it's probably not possible. And most of the communist countries that we've had have never been true communism anyway. They've basically just been a different name for the same sort of capitalist systems. So, you know, if you're not on top of the pile, you get shafted, is generally how things go. So thanks for that one, Zaki. Cold Fusion says, what do you miss most about the golden days of UHC? And what would you consider to be that golden age? Also, how did you figure out that programming was the career for you? So we'll start with the first bit first. The golden age of UHC. Well, maybe we haven't even reached it yet. No, well, for me, the golden age of UHC was probably in the period from about August 2012 to Christmas of 2012. And that is mostly for no other reason in that is when I had the most time with which to enjoy the UHC. Obviously after that, my work ramped up a lot more. I got a full-time job, you know, bought a car, moved into a house with my girlfriend, you know, she got pregnant, yada yada yada. That kind of eats up your time. So that was the golden age for me. That was also the time when there were very few UHCs and there were very few people, and everyone kind of still, there was not so much of the drama or the hate, because everyone kind of had to get along, because it's like the country pub syndrome. Like, you know, in the city, people start fights at pubs, but they never make up for them or anything, because they're never going to see those people again in their lives, right? In a country pub, you can't afford to do that, because you're going to see those people again very soon. So you have to make up with people if you get into a fight with them. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on that. That was probably my golden age. Also when I was hosting more regularly and developing plugins more regularly. But anyway, still enjoying that a lot. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. Just a bit crook at the moment, so sun's still in the right direction. Yep. Bit crook at the moment, so having to take a few breaks here and there as my stomach sorts itself out. Anyway, ooh, probably a spawner. Yeah, we'll leave that one. Yeah, definitely a spawner. So that was kind of my golden age, but I still love playing UHC. I see so many people like, oh, I'm burnt out, UHC's boring, rah, 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 and it's like, well, if you play it every single day, 2 to 3 times a day, of course you're going to be bored. I get like 1 game a week, so for me, it's still really exciting, because, you know, I've only got 1 game a week. I've got to make that game count. I have to play intensely. Anyway, I still love it. Every time is golden age for me. Oh my golly, look at them all. Hurrah, friends. Look at you all. Craziness. So thanks for that one, Cold Fusion. He also says, how did you figure out that programming was the career for you? Well, originally I was going to do ecotourism at university. And then one morning I woke up and went, what the hell is ecotourism? And instead decided to do computer science. Just kind of because, although there were signs that I might have liked it before that. I used to program in BASIC on a one of those computers that you'd plug into a television that my dad had. That had like 640k of RAM. I remember making Snake on that, but I never really considered programming something I might like to do at that stage. It's just something that I did. Anyway, so I did it at university kind of on a whim, and it turned out I was pretty good at it. have a pretty good mind for coding, and yeah, I kind of enjoy the problem-solving aspect of it. It's really kind of gratifying when you solve a problem in a really cunning, elegant way. So I guess that's how I knew it was the career for me, when I was enjoying doing it and thinking, gee, I could solve some seriously cool problems with this. So yeah, we'll do a couple more before we end this one out. Slackles says, best and worst experiences involving hosts. Interesting. Best experience involving hosts, probably Climb's games that he used to host, like his original series of 50 odd games or however many that was. They were always well run, good fun, can't really say much against them. Some of the SEPs games that he hosted, yeah, you know, I mean, I've hosted, so I know how bad it can be, so I'm not very critical of people when they have bad games. The worst game I've ever experienced was one that I hosted. It was a UHC Battle for Supremacy, where we had quite a large number of people at the time on the game. I think there were about 40 people, and most of the time we'd only held games with 20 before that. And people were organised into teams based on their countries that they wanted to represent. It was very hard to get everything working, get everyone into teams. I think that was like the first time I'd tried out a Teams plugin. No one had really ever done it before that. There were all sorts of problems. People raged, people were whining. I felt really bad. When we finally started the game, there were only like 27 or 28 people in it anyway. It was terrible. It was Herald's first game, if I remember correctly. You twit, come here. So maybe that had something to do with it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so that was probably my worst experience with a host. It was me being a bad host, bad min. But yeah, I think that's probably enough for this episode. So I will cut it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Oh wait, oh no, it's going dark. Perfect. We'll do this the proper way. Hey guy, have a seat. Okay, let's get underground before things start spawning. Complicated. Look at all those caves down there that will never be explored by anyone. Ever. Oh my god, it's impossible to place blocks. I'm kind of interested to see what would happen if you die. Just because, like, imagine if Kurt's been doing it wrong all these years, and bad things will happen if he dies. Ooh, bad things will happen if I do that. Oh, I got one. Okay. See you guys in the next step.